Hey, hey, hey! Hey, 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 hey! Hey guys, this is Mint again. Worship Harvest Resources. And Worship Harvest. Worship Resources. And thanks so much for joining us again. And in one of the last videos, as we talked about the major scale, I had a certain sense that maybe, just maybe, I could show you. How about if I told you I could teach you how to hear the notes in the major scale? Now, this is very subjective for your musical puritans, you who like your music not starred. Um, you know, you want it perfect. How about if I told you that Doh note? Remember our major scale? You have the Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do at the top, then Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. But when the song is playing, which is the Do note, which is the Sol note, which is the Fa note, which is the Re note. So I came up with a very interesting thing. I didn't think I was going to try it, but let me write. And I'm going to just put them as pointers right here. There's what we call, again, this is very subjective, please. I'm just giving you what I think will work. It has worked for me. Maybe it will work for you. There's what we call the settled feeling, is the word I'm going to use. Settled feeling notes. And then there's what we call the suspended feeling notes. Suspended feeling notes. Okay, so it's like when you hear a note playing, the major, there are going to be notes that feel like you are at home. Okay, you're settled right there. Then there are going to be notes that feel like you're going somewhere, but then at home, as opposed to somewhere. It's like you are headed somewhere. It's above something or below. It's just suspended. It's not settled. Then there's that makes you feel calm and whole, and you've arrived. Okay, so let's try and break it down a little bit. I'm going to start with the first note, which is the root, the home note, because that can't be mistaken. The home note is the home note. You won't be looking for your home in the neighborhood, at the neighbors. Imagine going home and you end up at the neighbor's gate and you confidently open it with a key. Imagine that. Yeah, so you see, you're not at home. So home is home. Home cannot be mistaken. Home is home all the time. So when something is playing, it settles right there. That's the home note. The home note is that one that we're calling the Do note. I like calling it the home note because that's easy to understand. When everything is happening, okay, it's just that note that sort of, the other way I can actually think about it is when everything is playing. I've not done this before, but I think it's going to be fun. So it's like every point of whatever is playing, I'm going to sort of play that one note and everything else agrees with it. So your root note, your home note is going to be the one note where everything works with it. So it can be very, very interesting, because then if I don't know the song you're singing, I just have to play. This reminds me of Mr. Bean, but I don't know. I don't know why it reminds me of Mr. Bean. But that one note where everything else is agreeing is going to be your home note. Don't forget that. It's the home note. It's a settled feeling note, yes. But again, it's the home note. It's the note that gives you the comfort. It's the note that gives you the home feeling of you've arrived. Everything is settling right there. So that's the first thing that I would say about the settled feeling notes, the home note. So you have your do note right there. That one. Okay. I'll just circle it right there. Okay. The other note that's going to give you the home note is the dominant note, which is now the so note or the fifth note. So you have the, okay, do re mi fa so, so do re mi fa so. Okay, so going back to my song. So so in my left hand, I'm playing the two notes, the do note and the so note. So it's, for some reason, why is it that whatever I'm playing on my right, whatever is on the left agrees with it? Now let me try another note. Okay, let me try and hit the do note and the fourth note, just for sake of difference. The do note and the fourth note, the root note, the one, the root chord, the home note, and the fourth, the subdominant, as some people call it. The 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the do re mi fa. So it's the do and the fa, and then we see how it works. So there's some disturbance there. It's not convivial. It's it's not giving you a calmness of heart. It feels like there's tension. You feel like it needs to settle somewhere. It's not settling. Whereas when I played, you see, it's, but then and everything else I'll play. It just feels like it works in some parts, then it begins to disagree. So it's agreeing and disagreeing, agreeing and disagreeing. Whereas the other two seem to work well. Now, what's the difference between the first two we did? The first chord, the root note, and the fifth note, the do note and the fifth. Do, re, mi, fa, so, and the do. I was going to say do. It's so funny that the exercises I've done teaching my friends some of these things, they've usually confused the first and the fifth. I didn't understand it until it hits one day. So you have the do re mi fa do. So you realize that the home note, if you have the home note up and down, so you have the Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Where you have the do not up down here and the do not up there. Okay, the full octave. Remember that. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In terms of the sound, the so is going to be your half. It's going to be halfway the scale. So in terms of the numbering, of course, it's a bit off, but in terms of the sound, it begins to give you an idea that the so note is exactly halfway the major scale. So you have the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. So the so then becomes the half mark of the scale in terms of the sound. Remember, I said that it's kind of all subjective, but it tends to help. Okay, so woo! I woke up this morning, I felt right. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Last night when I went to sleep, I felt alright. But you see what I'm trying to say? You have the do, and then the so note in the middle. They seem to agree with what I'm doing. So then the difference between the do and the so is that the do is the home note. The do agrees with everything. So if I had the so, so you see, it's saying yes, 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 but it's not giving you the firm yes. And I'm going to show you the difference. So you see, it's saying yes, it's agreeing with you, but it's not giving you this. It's not giving you that firm yes, the home note, the settledness, the thing of I'm at home, I've locked the door, I'm inside the house. So this one is like outside the pictures. This is like outside it's in the compound. It's at home, but it's in the compound. Why is it outside? Let it enter inside. Enter the house. It's midnight. What are you doing out? Okay, sorry. Come back. So you see that? So I want to show you that then the so sort of that's why you see I'm calling it, I'm going to give it a big red because it likes staying outside the house. It doesn't enter the house. It's at home, but it's not entering. I'm going to give it a red. Why? Why don't you enter the house? You're at home, but you're not entering the house. The door is inside the house. The so is at home, but it's not inside the house. So that's the so note. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to another settled feeling note, but it's a bit interesting because this one agrees up to a certain extent. So it's settled, but it's not agreeing all the way. For example, so I gave you the two notes, do, so, do. I'm going to include the third, which is the 1, 2, 3, or the do, re, mi, do, re, mi, do, re, mi. So we've done the do, re, mi, fa, so, do, re, mi, fa, so. Now I'm introducing the third note, do, re, mi. So that, you hear that? When I'm showing you a little bit about chords, I'll bring in the aspect of what I'm playing here, because this is the basis of where you build your chords from. Okay, the whole chord world, chord families and everything is built around just the three notes I'm playing. But I've introduced this third note to say, you sort of have the, okay, so you sort of have that third note there that sort of tends to agree, then it disagrees, then it agrees, and it, you know. So if I'm to play it alone with the do note, which is the home note, and if I was playing the song, which is what song was that? So let me keep it here. You see that? It agreed until we moved to so. It's agreeing there. Then we have something funny here. You see, it's saying, So it tends to agree most of the way. Rarely does it agree. It's yes, it's at home. Because even when you're starting, you feel like, yeah, all right. Until you start changing. Okay, so it has that interesting feeling. So I feel like it's settling towards the lower side. Okay, so in case I told you that, what note am I playing right now? It's near the do in terms of da da da. It's suspended. It's not suspended actually, but it's like da, 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 da. Okay. So you have the so, which I said was a bit halfway the sound of the major scale in terms of feeling, but then you have the mi, which is like a quarter way. Aha, aha. You see what I did right there? A quarter way. It's a quarter way in terms of feeling of the full expanse of the scale. So you have the do, re, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, do. Then you have the do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do, so, mi, do, mi, so, mi, do. So you see that? Right there. So that means we have three notes that kind of give you, that are giving you that settled feeling note, the settled feeling, the settledness, the settled feeling. Okay, and then so I'll put it here. I'll put there the mi. I still want to give the so a red because I don't understand why it's in the compound, but it's not at home. Who does that? Who stays outside at home? That's the so. But then the mi is at the gate. Ah! So much fun. The mi is at the gate. It has refused to enter the compound. I like this. So do, mi, so, mi, do. Now, the rest of the other notes are quite interesting because now those are the ones that are going to give you very interesting feelings. And this is how. So I started with the do, mi, so. Let me introduce you to the second note, which is the re. Do, re. It's right above the do, meaning that if I'm calling it a suspended note, it is it's like it's suspending above the re. Do, re. Now let's try this. Okay, now let's try and take the re note. So you see that? Why aren't you settling? Right? So whenever you hear the re, you realize that it's so close to the do. Re above the do. Re, do. You want it to settle at the do. So, and jazz guys like this note so much because of that feeling. Oh. Okay, it kind of gives you that. It's not. It's just keeping you like, dude. Why aren't we sitting down? You know, have you ever told someone, please have your seat, and then they say, why aren't you sitting down? Yeah. So that's what happens. That's what happens with the ray. It's suspended right above the door. Okay. I'm going to just rush between. This is pretty much straightforward. The other note that is suspended is the fourth. So I did. Then I did the ray. Now let's try the fa. You see that? It's saying, can you please take me home? It's settling on the. So it's like you're suspending above the fourth. You see that? Above the third. You're suspending above the third. Whereas the second is suspending above the root. So you have. Then now you have the ray. You're like asking, what's going on? Then you have the fa. So you see that? Then the other note is the sixth note, the la, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Okay? That la note. So in other words, it's also going to give you the suspended feeling, because we have done the do, then we've done the re, then we've done the fa, which is the fourth. Now let's try the sixth. It feels like it's going somewhere. When you find your friend walking on the road aimlessly, ask them, are you the la? Where are you going? Okay, this is a very bad example, but I like it. Yeah, because if your friend doesn't know where they're going, they are the la. They are the sixth note. All right, so it's just. It's somewhere up there. It's like, what are you doing, man? So it will give you this as it's suspended over the fifth note. Remember that the fifth note is a settled note, the third note is a settled note, the root note is a settled note. So the sixth is suspended over the fifth, the fourth is suspended over the third, and the second, the re, is suspended over the root note. So see that? It's falling right onto the sol note or the fifth note. All right, so we have one more note to go, which is the seventh note. We've dealt with the root note. We've dealt with the fifth note and the root note, which agree a lot together. Then we added the third note. So this one kind of gives you, suggests movement to other places because it's cut away the scale. So it just has that interesting weirdness of should we go up, should we go down? So it's settled, but then it kind of suggests, okay, it kind of is there, but it's not there. It's at the gate. It's at the gate. Okay. Then we went into the suspended feeling notes. we did the fourth note. Then we did the sixth note. Now we did the seventh note. We haven't yet done the seventh note. This is what we're going to do. So the seventh note is a very interesting note because it's a half step below the root note. It has no note. There's no note that we skip between the seventh and the root note. You have Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. That note is called the leading note. It leads right into the root note. So it's called the leading note. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. The seventh note, seventh note leads right into the root note. So that's what it's called, it's the seventh note. So it's a bit easy to remember because it's a semitone below the root note. So Do, Ti, Do, Ti, Do. Okay, so when I'm to play it, it's going to sound interesting. So this is a root note. Then the seventh. So it kind of keeps giving that. Or it might want to go down all the way down. Okay, so that's the magic between understanding the sound of the different notes of the scale. How do you start learning? I think that the first step is to just go Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Then, push yourself a little out and go for the Do, Re, Do, Mi, Do, Fa, Do, Sol, Do, La, Do, Ti, Do, Do. Do, Ti, Do, La, Do, Sol, Do, Fa, Do, Mi, Do, Re, Do, Do. Because then you begin to put them together. You're like kind of having the root note, Do, 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 and then you're going for the notes that follow. Da, 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 do, da, 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 do, da, 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 do, da, 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 do, do, da, pa, da, da. So you're sort of, it's like your brain is beginning to work out the spacing between both notes. Then you start challenging yourself. Jesus loves me, this I know. G, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, Mi, Mi, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Jesus loves, Jesus loves, Jesus, Jesus loves, Jesus loves, Jesus loves. So you see, I'm sort of beginning to put, different notes together. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Jesus loves me, this I know. So, Mi, Mi, Re, Mi, So, So. La, La, Do, La, La, So, So. 5, that's a 6, 6, 1, 1, 6, 6, 5, 5. La, La, Do, La, La, So, So. So, Mi, Mi, Re, Mi, So, So. La, La, So. Do, Re, Mi, Re, Do. So with time you start correlating and putting different notes together, and you even expand your abilities by saying Re, Do, Re, 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 Mi, Re, Fa, Re, So, Re, La, Re, Ti, Re, Do, Re, Ti, Re, La, Re, So, Re, Fa, Re, Mi, Re, 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 Do. They say Mi, Do, Mi, Re, Mi. Oh, Mi, Do, Mi, Re, Mi, Fa, Mi, So, Mi, La, Mi, Ti, Mi, Do, Mi, Ti. You see, you have so much to work with, to play with, and you sort of like correlating different notes in the scale. Before you know it, you're beginning to pick up different things. That's the so. She sang the so. You start putting 2 and 2 together, because your brain is functioning with a wider, the tools are picking up different things. Your ears are picking up different things. It's becoming magical in your mind, and that's really how I think that the sound of the major scale is. I hope this has been helpful. Put it down in the comments. Tell us what's working for you. What are you hearing? What are you picking out? What are you learning? What are your questions? and let's see how to help you. God bless. This is Worship Harvest, Worship Resources. See you on the next one. Bye.